Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome. My name is Jackie. On my little corner of YouTube, I discuss narcissistic abuse, how it affects you and your brain, how to heal and overcome it, building self esteem, self worth, not needing the narcissist, validating yourself, and issues like that. So if you like that type of content, please stay tuned for the rest of the video. If you have dealt with a narcissist for a long time, you find yourself caring way too much what they think of you and seeking their approval and validation. It's almost inevitable, right? This, because of they condition this type of behavior within your relationship with a narcissist, it tends to extend itself to other people outside the relationship. So if you're sort of trained by the narcissist to seek their approval, you try to seek everyone else's approval, everyone that you meet. So people at work, people at school who aren't necessarily narcissistic, but you just feel that need to have everyone's approval because it's been almost trained in you by the narcissist, right? Because they not only do they put themselves in a place of authority over your life and what you should and shouldn't do, especially again if you're in a relationship with them or they're in your family, they also make you feel like you're in the wrong and something is wrong with you. And so you feel like you need to check with everyone else if it's okay and seek everyone else's approval because I'm wrong. I'm always wrong. So I have to check with other people. They know a sort of inferiority complex in essence. And so on the road to recovery, recovering from narcissistic abuse, this is something that needs to be addressed and healed and taken care of. And this is exactly what I'll be discussing in this video. I'll be discussing where this comes from, the validation speaking, how it affects you, and lastly, how you can heal and overcome this and stop feeling like you need to get external approval, how to validate yourself from within. So, what does validation seeking behavior look like? Well, you are someone, if you seek validation, you're someone who feels like you need other people to go along with your idea for you to feel real and valid. So, for example, if I want to start a YouTube channel, I could just go on and start my channel, or I can just try to get as many people to sort of back me up and tell me, I mean, yes, we do essentially need people to support us, but it's almost like you're unable to do even the simplest things without getting the approval from people or even the narcissist. You also go along with the narcissist and what they want to do, even if it's against your best interests. You find yourself putting the narcissist's needs above your own. You find yourself caring way too much what the narcissist thinks of you. And let's say if the narcissist says, this is something that you shouldn't do or this is wrong, then you end up depriving yourself of that thing simply because it is against the narcissist or doesn't fit in. And again, this extends to other people too. So while you're trained, this could come from your family. You grew up in a family with a narcissist, a very dominating narcissist, and you were sort of trained to go along, to get along. And that sometimes mean you deprive yourself of things that you want or what you want to do. And you're always sacrificing yourself for the sake of others. So people pleasing as well. People pleasing behavior is very common. You find it's hard to say no to other people because you have an underlying fear that they will leave you or abandon you. So you almost give yourself away to the sake of other people so they stay to make them happy. I know this can be triggering for a lot of people, but I want to let you know that this is something that can be worked on. So don't, you know, hate on yourself too much or feel like something is wrong with you if this is behavior you have displayed in the past or you currently display. The fact that you're here watching this means you're trying to work through that, and that's good. That's really good. So don't be down on yourself for displaying this sort of behavior, or feel like, why did I do that? We all do things that we don't know any better sometimes, and these are things that we need to work on. So, yeah, so that was a bit of a tangent, but let me get back to the point. Uh, yeah, you essentially feel like you need someone to see you in order to feel seen. Because, and lastly, so walking around eggshells with the narcissist. Like, you can't be straightforward or say what you want to say. You kind of have to always consider their feelings, and not in a good way. It's almost like walking on eggshells, because narcissists are very fragile, essentially. Their egos, they have huge egos, but they're extremely fragile, and they cannot take any sort of criticism whatsoever. So you feel like you cannot anger this person, because they will just blow up and attack you for no reason. So, and you feel like you need to find peace. As human beings, we're trying to find peace, right? We naturally seek safety. And so, if stepping out of line angers the narcissist, which then puts you in danger, then you almost end up falling in line with them in order to find peace, for things to be okay. But the thing is, you could go along with them or not go along with them. The narcissist will still be the narcissist. They will still emotionally abuse. They will still aggravate you. They will still try to get at your nerves. That's the sad part. You deprive yourself of all of this and people please and try to get them what they want to satisfy them. But they're never satisfied. They're an empty hole. So they'll just keep taking, 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 and you keep giving, 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 and nothing ever really changes. And so you give a lot of yourself, and they take a lot, and it just amounts to nothing. So, where does this sort of behavior come from? If you find yourself seeking validation from other people, chances are you might be codependent, and you need a sort of external validation of your own worth. Like, well, this is similar to the narcissist, because narcissists are also codependent. But the difference between like a codependent empath and a codependent narcissist is the narcissist needs external validation, people praising them and putting them up on a pedestal and treating them like they're special, to feel worthy, to feel valid, to feel like they are a person. While a codependent empath essentially um, feels a sense of validation from being of servitude to other people, being there for people, caring for people, loving people, and almost putting themselves on the back burner for someone else. Like, it validates them to be there for someone else. And so this is why sort of they're drawn to each other. They're trauma bond in a way. They fill each other up, but in the most toxic way. So you might be codependent, and this is why you seek validation, especially from the narcissist. And codependency is rooted in, comes from childhood emotional neglect. Maybe you were neglected by your caretakers, your parents, people who were supposed to be there for you did not um, take care of your emotional needs growing up, or they weren't there to nurture you, listen to you, listen to what you wanted to do, um, just be there for you emotionally. And so this, as you grow up, you become codependent and feel like you have to be there for other people, and no one has to be, almost like it's a one-way thing. Like, your only job is to be there for other people, and no one's supposed to be there and take care of you. And you almost including yourself, you almost neglect yourself. And so you become other people focused, and everything you do, you say, and you start seeking other people's approval and wanting their validation, and wanting to always be part of the group, and never wanted to be an outcast or someone who's excluded from the group. You always need someone to latch on, to sort of feel like you exist. Codependent people find their worth in being there for other people, even to their own detriment. And I mean, helping people, being there for other people is, it's okay. You can be there for other people, but it becomes toxic and extreme when, you're neglecting yourself. You're supposed to put yourself first. You're supposed to give people from a full cup, not from an empty cup. You give it to yourself, you fulfill yourself, and you make yourself whole, and that way you're able to give to other people. You can't give from an empty cup. So in essence, it might end up being maybe a little bit controlling, or when you're codependent, because you feel like, you need to control how. Sorry, I didn't realize that I was actually on mute. So yeah, let me get back to where I was. Yeah, codependent. So you need to be there for other people, and they will somehow be there for you. If you sacrifice yourself, they will do the same for you. You will get that love you never got as a child. Like, you need to do something to get love, but that couldn't be further from the truth, right? Love and care is something that should be given and handed to you. It's not something you have to work for, or jump through hoops, or sacrifice your own happiness, or not do what you want to do. It's something that if someone cares about you, they will give to you, even when you give nothing, when you don't have to perform or do anything for love, right? And I feel because that's sort of wasn't taught in childhood because of the neglecting, you end up thinking and feeling like you need to be doing something for love. Love is like a reward you get for working hard. After a long day of working hard, you get your love and feel someone caring for you and being there for you at the end of the day. You have to put other people first, and then someone will be there for you. But that's not how it is. It's not how it should be. And that's something that definitely needs to be healed from. And in a codependent, growing up codependent because we were neglected as a child, it really makes you vulnerable to narcissists in the future, or in your whole life, basically, because they essentially capitalize from your pain, your childhood trauma. It's a benefit for them because narcissists love people like this. They love people who will self-sacrifice for someone else, people who are people pleasers, people who seek validation. They want you to blindly follow them and put them on a pedestal and do every and anything for them. And so it makes you like a target for a narcissist. So how does this then validation seeking affect you mentally? Well, because when you're codependent, your emotional needs are neglected, even by yourself. So you continue to abandon yourself for the sake of others and seek the approval and validation of other people, and caring too much what other people think, even if it's not what you want to do. For example, if there's a certain shirt that you want to buy for yourself and you think it will look cute, you would, instead of listening to your own opinion of what you think about this cute top and how you want to wear it and what you want to do with it, you listen to other people and what they have to say, even if it goes against you. And you only feel like, yes, this shirt is worth buying if they agree. If they say, oh yeah, that is a cute top, then you're like, yes, yes, I knew it. And if they say, oh no, it's not a cute top, I don't like it, you leave it behind because you need them to be okay with it for you to be okay. You don't listen to yourself. You've abandoned your own emotions and your own feelings, your own thoughts for the sake of listening to what other people have to say. And the worst part is sometimes the things that other people have to say is horrible. Like I'm using examples of a shirt and whatnot, but in reality it's usually other people giving their false opinions about you and what they think you should do with your life, which couldn't be further from reality. But if you care too much what they think, you end up going along with it and abandoning your own thoughts and your own ideas and your own feelings. You also end up with a sort of inferiority complex because you put everyone else and their opinion in what they think sort of on a pedestal, and you listen to them instead of listening to yourself. You might also think that being loved and cared for in a relationship is not a requirement for you. As long as you're the one doing the loving, the caring for, you don't need to get that in return. Your sort of validation comes from being loving and caring, and you don't need anyone to reciprocate that. But it couldn't be further from the truth, you know? It should be something that goes both ways. You put in the effort, and the other person puts in the effort as well. You can't be the only one putting in the effort. So, how do you free yourself from this sort of validation seeking, codependent, caring too much what people or the narcissist thinks? Well, first of all, codependency. I'm going to do a whole other video on codependency and how to, rewrite that sort of thinking and free yourself and become independent. But for the seeking validation, validation is something that should come from within and should never be sought out outside of yourself. The narcissist does a good job of making it seem like you need their approval, and they put on a show when validating their flying monkeys and make it seem like their opinion, is something that is held to high esteem. And should you disobey them, you will not essentially get their approval. When in reality, seeking validation from another human being is not natural. No one should have that sort of power over you. So when you see a narcissist handing out sort of validation to their flying monkeys, do not sit there in envy of them getting validation and you not. No. Look at it as it's a shame that they feel like they need this person to pat them on the back to make them feel like they're special. We should all feel like we're special from within. So know that someone not handing you any sort of validation, that's a-okay. That's something that should come from you. Okay, this will lead you to stop caring what people think. When you stop seeking the approval of the narcissist or anyone in general, you stop caring what other people think about you, because at the end of the day, all that matters is what you think about yourself and where you're at. And are you happy with yourself? The key is to remember that you don't need the narcissist or anyone's approval to feel valid. You see, the narcissist, despite how much they paint a picture of being strong and independent person, they're highly codependent and need you to worship them to feel valid. So you need to remove the narcissist and other people from the pedestal you've put them on and put yourself there. You are the one whose opinion matters and is important more than anyone else's. Because The narcissist is an expert at exaggerating their importance. They make it seem as though their opinion and their point of view is more important than yours, and you should care what they think about you, and you should follow what they want you to do in order to almost be approved by them and validated by them. But that's not true. Remove the knock off of that pedestal and put yourself there. Your opinion matters more than anyone else's because it's your life, your decisions, and what you want to do with yourself. And to be honest, between you and the narcissist, you're probably the smarter, more talented, kinder, and stable person, because everything you've done, your accomplishments are all real. They're not a lie, an exaggeration, or stolen or given to you by someone else, or just a pure illusion that doesn't exist. Stop putting them on a pedestal. Their validation is not needed by you or anyone else. You also need to go back into your child and look at the root cause of your validation seeking. Were you raised to be codependent? Was one of your parents maybe a codependent and you learned that sort of behavior? Was codependent behavior praised and not non-codependent behavior labeled as selfish? What are your views on receiving love and giving love? Do you always give too much of yourself and never get anything in return? Do you stay in relationships with people who don't put in as much effort as you do? You need to start learning to take care of yourself. Treat yourself, put yourself first. You need to heal from childhood wounds that may still be affecting the way you do and you see the world. That inner child that wasn't taken care of when you were younger, who was abandoned and neglected. You need to listen to that child. Stop abandoning and neglecting that child right now. Listen to him or her. Put him or her needs first. Love, cherish him and her just because they're there. Not because they do anything, just because they exist. Know that you are worthy, you're enough, and you're valid, and your opinion matters. Even if someone has something else to say, that's their opinion and it has nothing to do with you. Even if they say it about you, it really, truly, and wholeheartedly has nothing to do with you. It's their opinion. People are a collection of their experiences, right? So when someone comes in saying something about you and your life or whatever, that is not a reflection of you. That's a reflection of them and their experiences. So let's say you're a woman and a man comes to you and says, "Oh, women are this and that. Oh, women are gold diggers, blah, blah, blah," and is saying that to you, trying to put that label on you. All you have to do is think, this is probably the type of women that he's dealt with. It's not me. I have never done or experienced anything like this, but clearly he has. So this is a reflection of him and his experiences, and it has nothing to do with me. You see what I mean? So when you look at what people have, this is how you can stop caring. Literally, you can stop caring what people think if you look at it as people are just a collection of their own experiences in life, their own thoughts, ideas, experiences, where they have been, and we all collect that sort of thinking into our own personal library. So never ever look at yourself through someone else's library collection of experiences, because you won't find your experiences. Only you have your experiences, your life, your talents, your abilities, your trials and tribulations, everything that has made you who you are. No one can tell you or dictate that over you. So there's no need in caring what people think, because it really, truly, and wholeheartedly does not affect you. It does not. It has nothing to do with you. Someone could come here and tell you something, you were A, B, C, D, and you can just sit there and think, that has more to say about them than it has to say about you, because that's coming from their own personal library of experiences and not your own. You could pay someone $1 million to tell you who you are, and they will not be able to, because they were not there with you through the ups and downs, the triumphs and fails, the times you were hurt, the times you were celebrated. They were not there for every single. There's only one person who's been there for every single one of those moments, and it's you. So you are the only person whose opinion matters. That's it. That's it. So that's how you can stop caring what people think, stop seeking validation, because they have nothing to offer you. They have nothing to offer you. Other people's opinions has nothing, can never do anything for you. It does not take you anywhere. It does not provide you with solid information. So let them go on, let them speak and say what they want to say, and sit there and do not personalize it, because sit there and think it is part of them and their own personal journey and everything they've been through. It has nothing to do with me. So if they tell you, oh, all women are gold diggers, what, just sit there and say, I'm sorry that those are the type of women you've experienced. That's that. The end. No one can tell you who you should be or what you should do with your life. Or wrong. You know. There's no need to wait for someone else's approval and seek their validation. You know what you want to do. You know who you are. That's that. You need to stop doubting yourself. You need to start listening to yourself. You need to know that you are worthy and enough. Your opinion matters. Your opinion is enough, and what you have to say will be heard. It might not be heard by a certain group of people, but there are people out there who want to and who will listen to what you have to say. And find those people. Find your room. Find the type of people that you connect with. Stop seeking the approval and caring what people whose opinion doesn't matter. Stop caring what they have to say and what they think, because it has no effect on you and it does nothing for you in your life. So I will be doing videos on concepts like removing self-doubt and even validation seeking. I might do another video on that, and just a bunch of other concepts I've mentioned in here. Codependency as well, I said before. So please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to listen in on those other concepts as well. And thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can stay notified when I go live again. Until next time, bye.